Hey everybody, Chris and Lumen here, and oh yeah, I gotta do it. There's this something that draws people to doom. It's like the doomsday thing's like kind of like appealing to people. It, it's weird. It like gets you excited. Like like I got something new for you. All you July 15thers, all you people that like future forecasting group and Cliff High and all that stuff. Oh, this is a juicy one because I got some context to add to this one. So I was actually watching the video that we just posted earlier tonight, and because I always watch it on, as soon as I upload it, I watch the video because I have no freaking idea what she slipped into the video, when I was talking. So I'm always looking to see what she put in there that I didn't notice coming out of my mouth. And as I was watching it, I got the little alert on my phone, and it was the Future Forecasting Group channel, and it said something big is coming. I'm like, oh yeah. So I stopped and I watched it, and when I saw what they were saying in this YouTube short, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. I got to talk about this. This ties back to like when she first started the freaking countdown clock. So let's watch the video here really quick.
This is interesting. My buddy Darren sent this to me today. A couple of friends of mine, him and my friend Dan. Darren sent Dan the video of me and Dick talking about the July 15th thing. And Dan freaks out and he says, oh my God, I got to send you this photo that I took and tell you about this dream. So the dude has a dream, and he said it was in like June 20th or something like that. And he said it was a terrifying dream. And he said he saw tornadoes like going all over the country, destroying everything. And it said June 15th. So he was so startled in the dream that he got up and he actually went over and he wrote it down on the calendar, half asleep. And
You mean July 15th?
I'm sorry, yeah, July 15th. July 15th. Okay. So who knows, man? Maybe July 15th will be Tornado Day too. But he said they were going all over the country. They were destroying the entire country. He said it was crazy. It was terrifying.
So what this ties into, like I said, this ties into something like way back in the beginning of the countdown clock, when she first started like giving me clues and showing me things, like showing me all this apocalyptic stuff, which was April of 2023. So officially the countdown clock started at that hybrid eclipse on April 20th, but it really started April 1st. April 1st. It was April Fool's Day. And that's when she showed me, here, I'll pull it out here. I know some of you have seen this before, but like this just literally trying to find I'm gonna flip this around because it's always the front. Okay, this is what she showed me on April Fool's Day. So she explained the Fool's card here, and I showed this in other videos. But she's like, do you not see it? I'm like, see what? She's like, look closer. She's like, those aren't mountains. And then she popped, using the codex, she popped a whole ton of movie scenes in my head all at once and realized that is a super tsunami, right? So the Fool's card is about new beginnings. New beginning of the journey. But the whole theme that we've been talking about is the beginning is at the end. So every ending is really just a new beginning. So she's like, yeah. And then she went through the tarot deck and showed me all the other like apocalyptic stuff that was like literally in plain sight. Then she had me like watching Noah, and I'm watching Noah, and then she points to the painting that I used to have above my TV in my older place, which is Van Gogh's Starry Night, which when she pointed it out to me, it's been hanging on my wall for years. It's like that's like the sky's in chaos and there's a big super tsunami coming over the mountains and engulfing this small town. But it's not about the waves that we're talking about in here. Like, she started going into stuff about what they were saying in that clip we just watched. So if you want to know more, don't go away.
I've got a river running right into you. I've got a blood trail red in the blue. Something you say or something you do. A taste of the divine. You got my body, flesh and bone, yeah. The sky above me, earth below. Raise me
Okay, so it's April 2023. I've been doing this for several years, and then all of a sudden, she gets animated. She's just like flapping her wings. I'm kidding. She's like flapping her wings, like, hey, get excited. Like, we got to hurry up. Time is short. I want you to collect a whole bunch of people that I'm going to name to you, and you're going to do these attunements on them and stuff like that. And then you're going to start putting more effort into this channel, connecting to as many people as possible. I'm like, okay, why? And she's just like, the whole thing is coming to an end soon. You don't have a whole lot of time in the grand scheme of things. So one of the first things that she started showing me is, I forget like the timing or whatever, why she did it, but like she wanted me to watch Wizard of Oz. So Wizard of Oz is a Codex movie. It's one of the earliest Codex movies, and it's got a ton of stuff in it. Yeah, it's freaking Wizard of Oz. So for most adult guys, it's just like, ugh. But the tornado is key in there. The tornado is, what is a tornado? Well, what does authority? I'm authority. I'm science. You got to listen to me. I'm sorry. I obviously, because I am a part of her, I have a very, very big problem with authority. I have, they would say I have like oppositional freaking something disorder or whatever. I'm like, no, I just got her in me. Yeah. But they're like, oh, well, when you get cold air and warm air and they just decide to circle around each other, like, okay, that's like maybe a small part of it. But what's really going on is tornadoes are simply energy vortexes. And if you like do some digging, there's a lot of weird things that happen around tornadoes that is indicative of things like the Hutchison effect, which is like this elevated like field state. The only time I could think of like where you might have heard of the Hutchison effect is like if you've ever watched like Judy Wood's crazy documentary stuff about 9/11, like where the towers basically getting turned to dust, and the empirical evidence and like all the weird stuff that was around it. Kind of hard to freaking ignore unless you're just totally programmed by the world. But similar things happen around tornadoes. Like things end up in places that don't make sense. It does not appear like they were just blown there or whatever. It's almost like there are field effects taking place. It's kind of like that, affecting gravity and things like that. It's just like in Dick Algar's viewing of July 15th, and he was talking about all the different scalar waves, fundamental forces affecting gravity and things like that.
I'll go. Kept getting the idea of charged fields, something distorting time, alpha particles. I feel various forces, high frequency sounds, ideas of gravity, EMF, scalar, fundamental forces.
Yeah, some definite field effect type stuff, which independent scientists and researchers can pick apart, but authority will always tell you the simplest, stupid answer that they want you to swallow. There's nothing magical in the world. Science has explained everything. I'm sorry. I'm as amped up. I really can't stand the bullshit that has been shoveled on us for so long, that people just like, can I please have some more bullshit? As long as everyone's in agreement with me, then at least I'm part of the crowd. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't care who said it. It doesn't make sense. I have my own mind. I can see things of my own accord. Anyway, I'm rambling, I'm ranting. So a lot of weird things going. Codex timing. Codex timing. What big movie is out right now? Twisters. Codex timing is when there's like predictive, it could be intentional predictive programming, but a lot of times that intentional predictive programming is her. Because what did we say in the last video? Yeah, you got all the bad evil entity things, and they control the bad people on the ground. But like, who's controlling them? She is. She's the ultimate puppet master that is running this place that is meant to teach you things and put you through these hard tests. So other times that you've seen like predictive programming and stuff, I noticed it like about a month or two before, the big scary, rebranding of the cold. Like, there was all sorts of like outbreak videos, outbreak movies, like on Netflix and stuff like that. Every time there's like something big, like you can see it somewhere in the media, and it's not just like the bad guys predictive programming. Like, a lot of times it's her. But it just popped into my head that Twisters is out now. I actually kind of wanted to see it. But anyway, I digress. So I was talking about Wizard of Oz. So yeah, Wizard of Oz is, it revolves around a tornado, which a tornado kind of looks like a wormhole, kind of looks like an energy vortex, because it is an energy freaking vortex. So, and what happens with Wizard of Oz? She gets sucked up into the energy vortex, and she ends up in this magical freaking, colorful place, and goes on her little hero's journey with all these different things. And then you've got, Sophia Nice Epinoia and guiding Dorothy on her little thing. And then you've got the man behind the curtain that's running all the illusions and stuff. And the one thing that always stood out to me was at the end, it was like, you could have gone home at any time. It's like, all you gotta do is click your heels together and say, there's no place like home. And then she takes her star wand and puts it up where Dorothy's star chakra would be. That's the 8th chakra. It's right above your head. It's where all the controls are. Everyone always tries to clear these chakras, but like, all the real stuff is up here. She puts her little star wand up over her head and starts going like this, like making a little star portal. Like the star stuff, like, man, that popped up a lot of stuff in there. But anyway, she was showing me that. And then she was showing me all this other stuff about tornadoes. I can't remember it all. Maybe I can find those old videos. Because a lot of the old channel is like private. Because it's kind of like, I was at a lower level of understanding in those early days, so I don't want to start people back there. I want to start them with where we are. But I'll see if I can find those older ones, because it had a lot to do with like portals and stuff. And I remember the video had Wizard of Oz stuff. But anyway, she'd show me all this other stuff. So here's one of the big cards in tarot is the Tower. And the Tower means several different things. Like I said in previous videos, there's different layers of it. But one of them is, it deals with sudden gusts of violence and destruction. And what was it? Hold on, I'm gonna find a book on this real quick. So as I've been telling you repeatedly, these two particular tarot decks have a ton of encoded secret game stuff in it. Multiple layers. She wanted me to use these particular ones. So Okay, so this is the Tower card in this deck, right? What's it look like? What if I went like this? Now let me read what is written in the book for this particular deck on the Tower card. No matter how strong we build the house, the big bad wolf can still show up to blow it down. The Tower represents those unexpected blasts of violence and mayhem that sometimes sweep across our paths to erase our footsteps and leave us in despair and anguish. The Tower, we work hard in life to go further. We reach for the stars and aim for the heavens, but what's often a long climb up is a short fall down. Well, that came up a whole bunch of times. Up is down and all that kind of stuff. The Tower shows us that even the strongest fortress is prone to the ravages of man and time. Whether a prison or a palace, back to dust will crumble the walls in which we dwell. A prison. What's she been talking about? Burning down the prison, crumbling the walls. Divinatory meanings, destruction, overwhelm, an overhaul of power, evacuation, eviction, escape is advised. Reversed, a circumstance that seems unfortunate brings needed change, evacuation from a dangerous place or situation. An unexpected windfall. A little double entendre there. But yeah, she was focusing on the Tower cards, and she was specifically relating them at that time to tornadoes. And she was relating tornadoes to energetic vortexes, and she was connecting those to things like portals and going from one place to another, like in Wizard of Oz. And I forget what all else she told me back then. Maybe they'll be in the other videos. I would just attach it to this one, but because, you know, I can't freaking download YouTube videos anymore, I'll just have to, like, you know, make it live again. I'll put a link in the comments section, and I'll just make it live. But yeah, at the beginning of this countdown, at the beginning of where she first started the countdown clock, the very first things that she was talking about was freaking tornadoes in Wizard of Oz, in portals, in energy vortexes. I'm like, well, this thing that she's been predicting by, it may seem like random chance to you, like me bringing up, you know, these different channels and stuff like that, but you understand something. I don't normally watch other channels. Part of the way this stuff works with me for the last, I don't know how long, is I don't sit there and absorb other people's content because I don't want to muddy the water. I get everything from her. The only time that I look at other people's content is when she draws my attention to it because there's something there she wants me to see. That's how I got onto all this current stuff that we're talking about. I can't remember, like, it's been a while. It's been over a year, so I can't remember everything that was taking place back then, but I don't remember if it was dreams. I don't remember if it was just impressions or something like that, but it was kind of like, that would be like one way she would extract me out of here, was like a tornado. It's like, if it looks like a tornado is going to hit you, let it. Because it's actually like a portal. It's like a wormhole. It's an energy vortex. Kind of like the Destroyer. It looks freaking crazy. But it looks crazy. It looks scary, but it's the way out. Like, well, what did we say? It's like, this is what the texts say. This is the way it looked before. But it never, you know, rule of thumb. She's like, you know, the other video, she's like, remember your rule of thumb. Like, whatever you think it's going to be, it's not that. So maybe, theoretically speaking, speculation. So maybe the last time the big Destroyer event happened, it was like lightning. You know, it was the plasma stuff. but those are still energetic kind of discharges. What if this is just another type of energetic discharge, but instead it's like vortexes? Why wasn't it vortexes the first time? Why was it lightning the first time? Because that time wasn't the end. That time wasn't to extract anybody. This time is. Therefore, the mechanics of the energetic event could definitely be different. They would need to be some sort of energy vortex. Tornadoes, you know, now she brought up twisters. I'm thinking back to the original Twister, you know, when they're at the end, when they're strapped to the thing and they're in the middle of it and they're looking up and there's just like this thing going up to the sky and all this lightning and stuff. It looks like a freaking portal. She's had me, there's been times when she's had me watch a bunch of stuff on tornadoes before. What's that other really good one that I like? It wasn't as big as Twister. Oh, shoot. Into the Storm. That was a really good one. Yeah, we watched a bunch, like there was like this big tornado thing for a while. There was like tornadoes, 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 tornadoes. And then that just kind of stopped and we went on to something else. But at the beginning, when she first started talking about the countdown, it was about tornadoes. And there was even a couple times with like thunderstorms and tornado warnings. Matter of fact, how many people, it wouldn't be the new people, but remember like several months back, I did something, I forget what I did. We were still kind of like breaking free of some of the big negative energetic stuff. But I did something that I figured would probably elicit a response from the game. And then like immediately after, there was this big storm warning, like this massive storm front. And they were talking about like crazy tornadoes were going to happen. And looking at the track, like it was like a long track, but looking at the track, it was like making a beeline for my place. I'm like, oh, Lumen, I think we just pissed something off again. but that everyone's like, oh, you need to stay safe. I'm like, look, ain't nothing gonna happen. Like, Epinoia will freaking break that front like nothing. And that's exactly what freaking happened. And then what was crazy was I was sitting here on the couch. It couldn't have been that long ago because it was in this new place. I was sitting on the couch and it was like 6 in the evening or something like that. So it's still springtime. And like the light got all weird, really crazy, like really bright. And then Lumen said to me, go look outside. I want to show you something. And I'm like, okay. And I go outside and there's this freaking huge rainbow that's like literally like right over my place. I'm like, whoa. And it's kind of like, see, I told you she'd take care of it. And then the next day, someone posted a picture on the Facebook that was taken across town from where I'm at the same rainbow. And it had this, it looked kind of like this weird lightning going horizontally, but it was this specific hued purple color, that aether color. So they take this picture about the same time I'm looking up the rainbow, and there's all the Sophia energy color in the picture. It was so freaking cool. But either which way, back in the beginning, when she first started the doomsday clock, she was talking about tornadoes. Tornadoes, like the tornado will be like the thing that sucks you up. So it's a little bit of a different framework from the plasma apocalypse, but it's still an energetic event. So how crazy is that with everything that she showed me? And we're like this close to it. So I'm starting to think like, I don't know, maybe July 15th is it. Like there's a lot still coming up. The people that are talking to me, the people that are having their own dreams and their own stuff, and people that are connected to other types of groups that are connected to her in different ways. And they're like, yeah, that group's saying the same thing. Like it's all going to be done soon, or closing up shop. And it is a pretty specific freaking, like, there's a lot more energy pointed at this day as a potential event than the start of one. But that doesn't, again, we won't know until we know. Historically speaking, if you get yourself all amped up for a specific day, then it doesn't freaking happen. But it also, you know, how she does this, like she's just combining metaphors. You know, the wolf blows everything down and the boy that cried wolf. So when people do that so many times, then you kind of become numb to it. It's like, yeah, I see the signs, sure, but nothing ever happens because it didn't before. Until the time that it does. And you're like, oh crap, like, it's really happening. But yeah, for them to that wasn't like a direct, well, actually it was. So they didn't specifically mention tornadoes in the remote viewings, but they definitely drew some. But they're perceiving it a certain way in the remote viewing state, which I stated a video or two ago when she was in the interview with Epinoia and she was explaining all that remote viewing stuff. She's like, you know, they're swimming in her matter, in her field. So she will occlude certain details from them, like the remote viewer that clearly remote viewed in great detail the Trump trial, but yet he couldn't tell who was on trial. That's clearly what he was describing, but he couldn't tell what was on trial, who was on trial, even though at this point in time everyone knows who Donald Trump is. That means it was being occluded or occulted or hidden from the viewers. So the viewers have been drawing these, what they call energetic events, or some type of energy vortex, and they draw spirals.
So I had like a energy vortex thing first, very storm-like, energetic, and then it spiraled. I had a feeling that this was an escalating situation. Lots of hurried men in suits running down corridors, lots of hurried communications.
And they draw things coming down, and they even draw what they assume to be like some sort of explosion of a city, and they're drawing a big black cloud. But who's to say that big black cloud isn't actually a tornado, but they're not actually seeing it correctly? These are all possibilities. These are all possibilities. But because she is so integrated with me, like something about seeing that just instantly sparked me up. I'm like, not only did it spark me up, it's like, I gotta go do a video about this right now. So it's kind of freaking exciting because, like, my viewpoint, which I just explained in the last couple of videos, makes it so that this is not like a terrifying, scary thing for me. If it does happen, it's like, this is what I've been freaking waiting for. And then here's something else I didn't mention that was interesting. So there was a part in the last video I mentioned that somebody shared my video with someone that does a show on Rumble, right? And he played the entire video of my original July 15th video. And right before, when I watched it this time, I paid closer attention. But right before he played my video, he was showing, oh, shit. Something else popped into my head. Now she's throwing things at me. He was showing the Twitter X account for Q. I know, the Q thing. Like, it's almost like, yeah, you've been saying stuff for a long time, but now, ever since about July, I want to say, was it July 5th or something like that? It was, I forget how long ago it was. I want to say it was like July 4th, July 5th. They started getting all animated about something. This is about the same time she started dropping hints to me about Clash of the Titans, which led to all this stuff. And they're talking about all this. Are you ready? Like this is going to happen. You're going to shift out of here. Like, I don't know it all by heart, I'll put a link to the thing in the description or in the comments so you can read it. But the stuff that they've been posting lately is like sounding an awful lot like the stuff that I've been talking about. So whoever's behind this mysterious account, like they're all like, it's coming, it's here, it's here. And like that's what I'm doing. And that's what a bunch of other people are doing. And a whole bunch of other people that you don't even know because they don't have like a public platform. Like the people that have the antenna are picking up on something. I'm sitting here literally like bummed out. Like I'm not going to see Deadpool and Wolverine. But I don't know. It's something to watch. But man, that like as soon as I saw that video where he was talking about his friend had the tornado dream, and it was so important that he had to write it down, that he saw the date on the calendar in the dream, that he had to write it down. As soon as I saw that, I just instantly remembered all of the stuff that happened at the beginning with the tornadoes. And the other thing she said a minute ago when I said she's throwing everything at me when I was talking about the Q thing is, I think that the sub-headline for that X account is Q the Storm. And remember how that was like a big thing, that back when that group was a big thing, like where we go one, we go all, which she actually said to me recently, and that made me think of it. And Donald Trump was saying that stuff, and everybody kept asking, what do you mean? What do you mean? The storm is coming. The storm is coming. And also, since I'm bringing it up, man, she's just flooding me with things now. So back during that time frame, April of last year, I was finding a bunch of really weird different things. I was just kind of digging around the rabbit hole, seeing what I could find. And I saw a video, and it compiled like how many times in movies they've said that there's a storm coming. There's a storm coming. Like there's so many, like it was a really long video. The only one that's popping into my head right now is like the first Terminator at the very end before the credits. And the old guy's like, he said there's a storm coming. Sarah Connor's like, I know. Do 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 do. And then she drives off into the storm. Yeah, like that's one of those things, like when things repeat that many times in movies, she's putting it there. There's a storm coming. There's a storm coming. Storm. Donald Trump's like, there's a storm coming. And all the reporters are like, what storm? What storm, Mr. President? What is it? He's like, you'll see. He walks off. Storm coming. Storm front. That's another thing that just popped into my head because of the videos I've been watching lately. The boys, storm front, storm. Now I'm starting to realize how many times I've been seeing storm popping up and I hadn't registered it. Interesting. So that was definitely something that she really, really impressed upon me at the beginning. Storm, tornadoes. And that got in that video, like that wasn't a remote viewing, but maybe maybe they're remote viewing it right now and they'll post something. But like I said, they have already drawn it. Energy, some kind of energy event, vortex, tornado. You're perceiving like what it really is, not how it normally looks. So how crazy would that be? Like just like so many like movies are just popping into my head, all those tornado references. So, well, same thing. Before she's like, if you see plasma bolts, go outside and, stand outside and wait for it. So I guess it's the same thing with the tornadoes. Roaring, loud, high-pitched roaring, like trumpets and sounds, high-pitched sounds. Tornadoes are freaking loud. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm going to dig around a little bit and see what I've got in my archives. I'm going to try and find that old video. And if so, I'll when I find it, I'll add it to the comments of this video. Okay? So that's all we've got for right now. I just wanted to throw that in there because it literally just happened and all this stuff started coming to me at once. So I wanted to notate it. Okay? So that's all we got for right now. Chris and Lumen. See you next time. Okay, I'm adding this clip here at the end because it's not going to take that long, and I wanted to explain it rather than just link to it. So I went into my channel, scrolled back to April of last year, and I found the video. So I've got a ton of unlisted videos like this because it's kind of like just another way that I record and notate the symbols and the clues that she gives me, especially if they're codex clues. So codex clues, once again, that's what she calls her secret book. Like, it's scattered everywhere. It's in movies, it's in TV shows, it's in artwork, and she puts it all out there. And then when you get to like a certain time frame and you're plugged into her, she then like brings them to your mind and kind of weaves them together into a message. So this is an example of one of those unlisted videos in which she did this. So this was literally at the beginning of her like doomsday countdown clock. This was like the first symbols that she was showing me, and I'd forgotten what was in it. But when I looked at the video again, it was definitely drawing a very specific conclusion from the particular scenes that she was weaving together. And it has to do with like the tornadoes, portals, vortexes, and specifically like going from one place to another, and even like waking up in another place in another body. So very interesting. Like, I've got so many different ways that I record stuff. I do it that way with private videos. I put, you know, tons of stuff in my Evernote. She has me make different diagrams and designs and things. But yeah, this is what I made back then when it first started. So very interesting. Check it out.
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Surrender, Dorothy.
Dorothy? Who's Dorothy? Oh, I don't think there's anything in that black bag for me.
Well, you forced me into a cataclysmic decision. The only way to get Dorothy back to Kansas is for me to take her there myself. You forced me into a cataclysmic decision.
She had to find it out for herself. Now those magic slippers will take you home in 2 seconds. Oh, Toto too? Toto too. Oh, now? Whenever you wish. Oh, dear. That's too wonderful to be true. I'm ready now. Then close your eyes and tap your heels together 3 times. To yourself, there's no place like home. 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 There's
reflex is good.
Inner response normal. How you feeling, Jake?
Hey, guys. Welcome to your new buddy, Jake.
Relax, David. Open your eyes. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no...
Wake up, honey.
There's no place like home.